everybody's having a great day. I'll take any questions you may have.
Who's kicking for you on Sunday?
Well, you asked it a little bit nicer. So.
Less of a wise-ass tone that time.
Yeah, it's the Northeast, and you can't.
I'm kidding.
It's the area code on your phone. You can't help it. Well, what I will say is Brandon had a really good day yesterday and seemed better today, and hopefully he'll have a really good day tomorrow and come in Saturday and feel better than he did a week ago Saturday. So we'll see what happens, but he had a really good day yesterday.
Is that what happened, Rich? Just he woke up Saturday and just...
Yeah, I think he said he aggravated or had a little bit of tightness, and not that we made him, but we kicked 2 days in a row. We hadn't done that for a while. The last time he actually got banged up was when he came off the bye week, if we remember. So we kicked 2 days in a row, and he just had some tightness on Saturday. And at the point, we just figured, better safe than sorry. We didn't want to go through that again. And then hopefully the rest has been good for him. He had a really good day yesterday, probably the best day he's had in a while. So we're excited for what tomorrow brings, and hopefully should be ready for the game.
How do you evaluate what Lucas did Sunday, given the conditions and also the snap hold on the second?
Yeah, that's a great question. The one thing I will tell you, my experience tells me that the wind affected everything in the game. Every snap, every hold, every punt that went on there. And in my opinion, it affected some catches as well. So I don't know. The laces were back on that one. The first one was definitely a little bit of I didn't think he had a great line when he hit it over there to the right, and that snap was fine. The other one, the snap was kind of like it hit the wind. It came out like a rocket ball, and the laces were back. It's a tough make. It's tough making the wind, but no excuses. I'd still love to see him make it. He did a good job, I thought, on the kickoffs. The last kickoff, we'd have liked to have had him return it, but the wind just took it about 3 yards deep in the end zone down there in that corner. And if you remember the one punt where he caught it all the way over here on his left, well, in that corner of the end zone, it was like a crazy zone. We were actually snapping the ball 2 yards outside of where Daniel was lined up, and the ball took a left-hand turn. The first punt, if you can remember, Daniel actually slid to the left right before, which it's not a legal motion for him because he can go sideways. So we were snapping it so far over there because of the wind, he actually slid over there where the punt was going, so where the snap was going. It's always problematic for the drop for the punter and for the catch for the punter where those snaps are coming out. So, their guy had some problems with it too. You saw he was hitting his flop punts, and, the first one kind of came out all funky. But the wind was a factor. It'll be part of the evaluation, but he's played, pretty well for us when he's had a chance to play. So it's not the total evaluation on him. Practice has been a big evaluation as well.
When you evaluate Brandon, how much of his misses do you chalk up to? I know you don't want to use the excuse, but he has been kicking through injury. How much do you put on that?
Well, I think, again, we've leaned on him a lot for this. He's had it once before. I think he tried to adjust a little bit. You can ask him about it, adjust his plant foot to some degree when he was coming back from the injury. But I think, again, looking at yesterday's film and what he did and how he felt, I think he's, to his opinion, I think he's back a little bit, And the part for him, to me, that the confidence that he has and the swagger that he has and the crap in his neck that he has, I think that was missing for a little bit as well. And I think now he has confidence that he can kick the ball the way he wants to, and hopefully it's going to do what he wants it to do.
Beyond Whalen's performance, how have you evaluated the punt coverage unit as a whole these last couple of games? Feels like you've been able to pin the opponent back several times.
Again, credit to Daniel and the way, he does bad ball drills and those sort of things. And then, again, I thought the majority of our punt guys have stayed together now for a while. We lost Nick and had Christian up, and now we have Mosby up, and we lost Van Ness for a little bit, and they've got the chance to play against next to each other some. So I feel like, we're still on the come. We still have a lot of things to clean up that we got away with to some degree. And we're playing a really good rush unit that we've had some battles with in the past going into the Minnesota game. So it's always a test. Regardless of the weather, it's always a test. And then I'd like to think Daniel's still an ascending player.
How good is this return unit for Minnesota?
Yeah, appreciate the question about Minnesota. First of all, I think you have to look at Matt Daniels. I think people like to put special teams coaches in a box and put limits on us. And, I don't know why this guy's not looked at as possible head coach candidate in the National Football League. And he's done a tremendous job there. He's got a good unit, but, he's built it over the time that he's been there. And what he's done, it should be looked at, I think, in other facets of what we do in the National Football League. But the return unit with the rookie is impressive. He's had, I think, 3 called back. He's had a 99-yarder called back. He's had a 60-yarder called back. I think he'd be leading the league if those 2 things weren't called back. He's had 1 fumble on the kickoff return, but he's also had, I think he had a 43-yard punt return last week and 2 18-yard punt returns. So he's a dangerous player. He's got great speed. He's an aggressive guy to the ball. He wants to make plays. So, he's somebody we're going to have to try to manage somehow during the course of the game. But their unit as a whole, if you look their coverage, they got 2 young rookies playing, 96 and 56, and then they've got Eric over there. Eric's still playing a lot of special teams for them. He's already blocked a punt this year. He made the big tackle on the big kickoff return they gave up last week against Chicago, and he plays punt at times, and he comes in and plays punt return at times. So I think they got a heck of a unit. I think they're really well coached. I think they're physical, they're fast, and it'll be a great challenge for us come Sunday.
They have a couple blocked field goals too, don't they?
They do. They tipped one, and they got 1 legit block against Pittsburgh. He came off the edge. So I think they're a force right now to reckon with. And again, if they don't have those 2 or 3 penalties on the kickoff return, I think they're probably leading the league.
Is he one of the rare guys that does both these days?
Say that again,
Is he
please.
one of the rare returners that does both kick and punt?
Well, I'm trying to, Keyshawn
Put you on the
has
spot.
done both at times, and some guys are doing both. The guy in Pittsburgh was doing both. I'm trying to think of who we've played against, but they went and got him. He was a good returner coming out, and he's doing both for them. He's doing a good job with both. So.
Good.
Good. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you say great?
Yeah,
Good.
I got basketball to watch here shortly, so it's good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. There's some high school football games going on, too. I just walked by. So you got a lot to watch. All right, what do we got?
So when you look at your run defense on Sunday, you didn't give yards per carry were down and everything, but it sort of controlled the game for them too. I guess kind of big picture, what did you think of that part of it?
I don't think it was the run defense. I think it was the missed opportunities to get off the field. We have to get off the field on 3rd down. They started off the game, and they went down the field and scored. They hit 2 explosive passes on that drive, which is kind of an uncharacteristic of us. We've been playing pretty good the first drives of the game. Then we held them to 3 and out. Then we held them 3 and out. And then we were on the verge of holding them to 3 and out again for 3 straight drives. And we had a missed opportunity on 3rd down. And we gave them more chances to run the ball. I think they almost ran the ball 40 times. To me, the run defense was fine. It was getting off the field when we had the opportunity to do so. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities to get off the field. It was more, those missed opportunities where we could have ended drives or changed the game, and we have to finish those. So I think it was a byproduct of keeping them on the field with some missed opportunities.
Jeff, why does Micah tend to make big plays late in games? Is that stamina? Is that something that he just sees as it goes on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, he is the closer, and that's what we need him to do. And I jokingly called him that a few weeks ago, but if you think back to the Arizona game and you think back to this past game, that's what he's been able to do. He had the big sack on, I think they went for it a lot on 4th down. He had the big sack on the 4th and 3 in the red zone, and then obviously at the end of the game he had the sack fumble to end the game, and he had a bunch of other pressures in the game. The ball's getting out quick. And we're not seeing quite as many passes. And at the end of the game, he just stepped up. He knows what time it is, and he made the play. I think you kind of probably have to look game by game and see why. But he is affecting the game, and I mean that. If you just watch the pass attempts, watch how quickly the ball is coming out, and when they have to hold the ball longer at the end of the game, he closes it out. But he is a great player, and I think he would expect that out of himself, and in return, we expect it out of him. and I think he'll continue to do that.
Hey Jeff, how do you get Cooper to affect the quarterback like he was, the second half of last season?
Well, I think he did in the beginning, early this year too. If you think back to those games where we were up big and we're forcing teams to throw the ball the entire second half, and people have to throw the ball on us. I mean, we're not getting a lot of pass attempts. We're not getting into a game where it's fourth and third quarter pass after pass after pass. If you think back to the Washington game when we were and they had to throw the ball the whole second half, he was getting those pressures, right? If you look back to the Giants game, I mean, they threw a screen on 3rd and 5. They ran the ball on 3rd and 12. If you think back the week before against the Eagles, we got a run on 3rd and 13, a run on 3rd and 9. I just think there's less opportunity right now in how these close games are unfolding, right? So hopefully we can get the ball back to the offense, play some good complementary football, and get more opportunities, and I think you'll see him get those. I just think it's a byproduct of how these games have went. I do think Coop is playing better football this year than he did last year. I don't even think it's close. I think he understands the game more. I think he's making more plays. He's in the right place consistently. And I think he's gotten better each week. I think how he's practicing right now and how comfortable he is, I think he's ascending, and I'm excited to see where he goes the rest of the season.
So even without never mind the pass rushing part of it, I think he had 13 TFLs last year. I think he's 2 now.
Yeah.
Your team's taking him away, that explosive part away to some extent, or what have you seen there?
No, I haven't seen that at all. I mean, we've got a lot of football left, and hopefully those numbers will go up. I think he's playing a lot better football this year than last year, and I mean that. I don't even think it's close.
Jeff, Matt was asked yesterday about why Rashawn played 39 out of 72 snaps or whatever, and part of his answer was that he's just not historically a high snap count guy. Why is a guy making, I know you don't care about the salary, but he's making $24 million a year. Why is a guy like that not a high snap count guy?
Well, I think if you've looked back through this year, he's played more than he did last week. And again, I don't want to continue to give the answer. You got to take this game by game. But in some of those long drives, we're rotating guys. Guys are coming in and out. There's limited possessions and less pass opportunities, and there's nothing really to look into there. I mean, I actually, at the end of the game, I talked to DeMarcus and didn't even realize that his snap counts were where they're at. When DeMarcus is rotating him in and out of the games, is it a long drive? Is he tired? Does he need a break? Situationally, is it short yardage? Where are they at on the field? Are we getting bigger people? Are we getting more tackles on the field? I don't look into it. It's one game. And if you look back on the other games, I just think we're making that a way bigger deal. Like, truthfully, I can look you in the eye and tell you that. I just don't think there's a story there with this one game. So I'd anticipate his snaps going up, and I mean, you could say JJ played one more snap than him in the game, but that's just kind of the way it worked out. That wasn't like the set plan of the game. It's just rotation guys, how the drives go and how it happened.
Yeah, I wasn't just saying this game specifically. I was saying more so over the long term is kind of what Matt said. But
yeah, I mean,
I guess the answer stands.
Yeah, the answer does stand.
So, Jeff, snap counts notwithstanding, he is an elite pass rusher, or at least that's the expectation, right? When you look at his pressure numbers, they're not as high as Micah's, obviously. You would like to think he's getting more one-on-ones because of Micah's presence. Do you need more from Rashawn, however many snaps he's playing, or do you feel okay with what you're getting from him?
Certainly you want to continue to improve and get more pressure from all of your players across the board. I think if we go back and look at the last 3 weeks, I mean, I don't know if a quarterback, has thrown for, if you really look back from the Carolina game, I think they threw for 100 yards. The Eagles didn't throw the ball very much. The Giants threw the ball for 200 yards. People are running the ball at a high amount of snaps against us right now. Other than early in the year when we're up on those teams and they have to throw the ball 40 to, there's some quarterbacks right now throwing for 500 yards last week, and there's some quarterbacks throwing for over 40 completions last week. We're getting a limited amount of pass rush opportunities, and truthfully what happens? I think, picture it this way. It's 40 rushes, right? and you're playing the run and you're playing the run and you're getting double teamed and you're setting the edge, and then all of a sudden it's a play action pass and you have to have a conversion rush where it's not drop back pass, right? And a lot of it's not drop back pass. We're getting a lot of early down play action pass where it's 6-7 man protection where it's double team, double team, double team, and maybe there's one-on-one and there's two guys out on routes. So a lot of the passes that we are seeing that are in a limited role, it's going to be hard, much harder than if a team has to drop back and throw the ball 45 times against us, which I don't think any of us have seen, which is why I totally respect in all the questions, but in defense of these guys right now, there's limited opportunities to truly pass rush. Because even on third down, the runs are going way up, the screens are going way up. People are just trying to get the ball into 4th and 2, right? And we have to do a better job of getting the ball back to the offense, playing complementary football, scoring, going up on people, so then we can let these guys go. And we just haven't been able to do that. You know, the Eagles game is a 10-7 game. This is a 20-27 game. And, I mean, who was before? The Panthers was a 13-16 game. There's just, we're not playing fourth quarter NFL football where it's pass, 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 pass. So I think, like, respectfully, with all the questions and the things about Rashawn's doing a really good job. I think Rashawn is playing the run game and playing as physical as he has, and we're playing really good run defense, and that's those guys. And when teams have to start throwing the ball on us, then I'm really looking forward to see those pressures and those sacks come. Like, does that make sense, what I'm trying to explain to you there?
It does. I mean, look, you know, you have all the trends and you're looking at everything. I think it's hard because of the expectations that come with contracts and roles to see, you know, him go 3 games, however many pressures he has opportunity to make. It just, and maybe unfairly, we're comparing him to Micah, who finds a way even when they're really quick pressures. Right?
There's no doubt about that, and I think Rashawn would appreciate you comparing him to Micah. And are there times where guys are getting one-on-one? Sure. And are there times we want them to win more? Absolutely. I mean, we definitely do. So I'm not putting this in a box and saying it's all one or the other. It does need to get better, but I'd like to get more opportunities to go pass rush too.
Jeff, I'm not just asking this because of the drops in New York, and this, I don't intend this to be another more takeaway question.
Sure.
I'm honestly wondering, because when you look at your pass defense, you rank near the top of the league in basically any metric except for
Takeaways.
interceptions. Do those need to come eventually to get to where you want to be, or is that enough with everything else your pass rush is doing to win a Super Bowl?
No, we need more. When we get the opportunity, like if you look back to that game, and how many opportunities do you think we had to intercept the ball, would you say?
I had 5.
5. What would you say? We got any other takers? You're saying 4?
I thought 4.
Well, I said
4.
4 that you didn't, 5 overall.
All right, so we had the opportunity to get 4, right? Like, probably if you asked all of our players, they would say we should have made those plays, right? If we catch the ones they throw to us, we're sitting in here right now and we're right back in the middle of things and interceptions and takeaways. If we catch those balls that we had the opportunities to in that game, the pass rush is going to start to come, because then it's not, in all respect to the New York Giants, who I think played a very good game, if we catch those ones that they throw to us, that's not a close football game. It's just not. I mean, we take the ball away, we give it to our offense, we go up, then it turns into a pass rush game where our ears are pinned back and they have to throw the ball 20 to 30 times more. But we have to make those plays to change the game, to go up on people and put people away quicker. We're playing good defense by all the metrics, by all the numbers. The thing I do appreciate is I think we have a takeaway in the last 4 games, and we had 2 this past game, so it's starting to get better. But that was an opportunity for us to make those plays and put somebody away, and unfortunately we didn't capitalize on it. So we got to do a better job there.
So do you need to emphasize to your corners more the need to convert to playing the ball more, even though they compete for everything, they're in the right place in coverage, they do all those things well? Is it more of an emphasis to transition and to play the football more?
No, they were in position to play every single one of those. I mean, every one of them we had the opportunity to, except Bullard's, where Bullard had the ball and McDuffie came and hit him pretty hard and had a PBU. I mean, that one, I just throw that one out to luck, right? But the other ones, we had the opportunity to catch the ball and go back and score. On one of them, we had 2 players. I thought we were going to go up and catch the ball, and we didn't. And another one, I think he dotted right on our chest, and we just, for some reason we didn't make the play in that situation. But in most of our coverages, we are playing the ball. Just one of those days, They're going to come. They're coming. You saw them. They're coming. They are coming. If X says the same things, then I really believe they're coming.
Jeff, you've mentioned screen passes a couple of times. Cooper was like so close to making a huge play.
Yeah.
In that third. So what's the coaching point for him so that play doesn't get away from him?
I mean, he missed the tackle. He's there. He shed it off the block. It's 3rd and 11. I was ready to put my headset down and take a deep breath, and the next thing you know, the guy, he missed the tackle. I mean, it happens. Could he have been lower? Could he have wrapped him up more? Yeah, and I think if Coop looks back on that play, he would tell you the same thing. But it happens. Guys miss tackles, guys break tackles, and you got to play the next play and get off the field. He's been tackling at a really high rate. I think our whole team, if you look at the numbers across the board, we've tackled at a really high rate. I think we're one of the lowest in the NFL at missed tackles. Just one of those missed opportunities that could have changed the game, and fortunately we won the game.
Jeff, there was, I think there was a play in the Giants game where you had Parsons and Gary next to each other, and I think you got 3 linemen and a tight end to block those 2 guys. And yet, you couldn't get to Winston on that. Are there instances here where pressure is necessary if you're not going to get, if you're not getting that sack off of that? I think he might have gotten rid of it quickly on that play. Do you remember that play?
I don't.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. It seems like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, we did pressure in the game. We pressured. We sent 6. I ran a 0 blitz in the game, so we sent more than 6, and we rushed 4 in the game. So there's time for everything. But yeah, we 0 pressured them, we 6-man pressured them, we 5-man pressured them, and we 4-man rushed them. So we got to keep mixing it up and doing those things. I just can't recall that one play.
Jeff,
Oh, go ahead, Pete.
Do you have a follow-up on that? Because I could see the
No,
wheels spinning.
I was just using that as an example, like if Mike is, in particular, is getting these doubles,
Then
you need someone to win, right?
Yeah.
But if they're not winning, then what do you do?
And we send more, or we coach them up better to win and put different guys in to win. I mean, there's not much more you can do. Like I said, there were times in the game where we sent everybody. There were times in the game when we sent 4. And then there's times when we did win our one-on-ones. Again, there's also just limited attempts right now. We need more.
in the last few weeks, there's been occasional snaps where you're in base defense and you play Bullard at safety. Has it reached a point with Evan Williams where you just probably shouldn't take him off the field? Are you there yet?
There's points where I don't want to take Evan or Bullard off the field. And I think that's where I'm at, right? I think they're 2 really good players. And when you see those situations, it's probably 2 receivers in the game and some type of 2 receiver personnel grouping in the game. And you don't have a nickel on the field, so you have to choose between Evan and Bullard. And if you're getting a lot of that personnel grouping, which we've been getting a lot of lately, you got to make sure you get both of them reps. So therefore, you're seeing both of them go in the game in those situations, right, to try to balance it out a little bit. But I don't want to take either of them off the field. It's just sometimes we have to with matching personnels or matching down and distances. But I think they're 2 really, really good players that deserve to play. So that's what you're seeing to balance that out a little bit and keep them fresh because we're going to need them both. Make sense? Anybody else?
Yeah, since you guys are playing the Vikings, what's the challenge with playing Justin Jefferson? Is the pass rush there the answer?
Well, you're playing, it's not just Justin Jefferson, who I think is, the premier wide receiver in the league after seeing him twice last year. They got a really good offensive line. I think both backs are really good. The tight end's been playing for a long time, and then they have Addison and some other good receivers. So they got 2 first-round picks at wideouts who are really talented. They can run the ball, but you definitely have to try to affect Justin, and that's going to be affecting the quarterback. It's going to be changing the picture for him. It's going to be changing the coverages. It's going to be at times getting your hands on Justin. It's going to be at times putting 2 on Justin. It's going to be at times having Justin one-on-one because you're doing something else. But, that certainly is a challenge. They're an explosive group. Obviously a young quarterback, who hasn't played much football, just watching the Chicago game and some of the throws that he made. Especially, I thought early in the game he had some really nice throws, and then late in the game when he threw that touchdown, I thought that was a great throw. Probably gave him a lot of confidence and gave them confidence, because you would have thought they would have won the game, in that situation with the time left on the clock. Like we talked about last year, Kevin and I go way back. I have a ton of respect for Kevin, working with him. I consider him one of my better friends in this profession, and I think he's a great play caller, and he's got great weapons, and he'll figure out how to get that quarterback better each week, because that's what he does. So it will be a challenge, and whether they change up what they do or how they do it, you still got some of the best receivers, like you said, out there in the whole entire NFL. So we're going to have to affect the receivers, we're going to have to affect the quarterback, and then we're going to have to stop the run, because that's how people have been playing us right now. But I have a lot of respect for what they do and how they do it. You guys good?
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, since you went back to the well on the closers,
Steno, I ask this jokingly, but also seriously. Has Josh Jacobs ever tried to fight a coach or trainer who tells him to take it easy and take a play off or something?
Yeah, Josh, he's got a pretty intense demeanor about him. So if he's like, I'm in, I'd be like, okay. I don't care what the trainer just said, you're in, go. I wouldn't get in his way. But yeah, he's a guy that does everything he can to get out there for his team, for sure.
Did you see enough to think that Jordan Morgan can be a left tackle in this league, or do you need to see more there?
I was very encouraged, by the snaps that I saw him out there playing on the edge for the preseason. I thought he did a good job. So I'd always want to see more, I guess. But yeah, I thought for what he did out there, he did a really nice job.
With all that you just said about Josh, at what point, because you need him to be at his best for your offense to be at his best, especially down the stretch this season. At what point is what's best for the team giving him a week off, because you do have a really good backup behind him?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the fine line you always have to walk. You got to trust the training staff. You got to trust him as a player. And if something in your gut or whatever is telling you that, hey, maybe it's best for him to take the week off, then that's what you got to do. I think his situation is one of those it's going to take the entire week to kind of see how it all plays out and see how he's feeling. But yeah, we're just going to kind of take it one day at a time for now.
When is it in your mind when it's like, okay, you are one of our best players, you know your value, you know you want to play, but you can't right now?
Yeah, I think you just got to evaluate how they practice and then have a conversation with them, Saturday or Sunday, and just see how they're feeling. You know what I mean? That's especially a vet like him who's, played through a bunch of stuff. You kind of just got to let the week play out and see how it goes.
Steno, it would be great if you could take Fitz, Josh, and Luke and combine them into one guy, because then you'd have Tucker, right? Is it how do you think you've done so far, and how much of a challenge is it to figure out how to get those pieces, because none of them are obviously Tucker?
Yeah, I mean, the playmaking ability that Tucker's shown to have is special. It really is, and that's one thing, that we're trying to we're just trying to find in other ways, different guys stepping up, not necessarily in the tight end room, but in other areas, receivers, running backs, everybody, with our offense. So I think to say that, why aren't these guys like Tucker? I mean, I don't even think like that. It's just, how can we put these guys in the best position for their skill set to be successful? And I think that's kind of one thing us as offensive coaches, we just need to keep doing a better job of, for sure. It's just getting those guys in the right positions to make impacts in the game. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of see how those guys keep progressing now that they're carrying more of the workload, to see, 4 weeks from now, towards the end of the season, kind of what they're doing.
Stunner, what were the strong points and what were kind of the areas of growth for Sean with his first game, first start?
Yeah. Sean did a good job for the most part. There was a couple snap issues that we had. Obviously, when you're the center, that has to be 0 snap issues every game. But he did a really good job competing. There were a couple, pass protection things where he got out of position. But I think for the most part, I was pleased with how he did, how he made calls, how he kind of got everyone on the same page and played with physicality. I thought he did a good job there.
Have you ever seen an NFL team go with the jumbo tight end and go 3 or even 4 wides, or is that just something that's not tenable with NFL, with the way the NFL is played?
You don't see it often, but you can definitely do it. Yeah, that's some things that, depending on who you have, yeah, you could definitely do things like that for sure.
Have you guys kicked around any ideas like that, or?
Well, yeah, we tried. If you remember the play versus the Eagles, we got an illegal formation where we hit Christian Watson on an explosive, and Kennard was in, and we had 3 wide receivers. So.
That was 3 wides?
Yep. So we've done that.
Back to the tight end position, blocking specifically, run game, passing game. Just how have you evaluated the body of work of those 3 over the last week or 2?
It's been good. It's been good. They play with physicality. They give everything they got. They're all kind of different players, so you kind of use them in different roles. But no, I like what I'm seeing from them. I like what Wiley's been doing. I think he's an interesting guy that I think as we keep going, he'll have a bigger part every week.
What Luke does best is quite a bit different than how you guys use Tucker. I mean, he's got the speed to go downfield, stretch the seam, and do all that. How difficult is it to make that much of an abrupt shift mid-season with your scheme to kind of accommodate that?
I think, yeah, it just depends, kind of, on what the defense presents that you're playing. You know what I mean? But I think it's one thing we're pretty versatile as far as what we can do, so I don't think it's too big of a deal.
If you're not getting what you want out of your tight ends in the pass game, can you replicate it with a receiver instead of a tight end, or do you guys have to have a tight end in your offense?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when you're putting your offense together, you always want to just have pieces in there where you can run or pass. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of times you take a tight end out of the game, now it's just a pass-happy, here we go, and you lose the element of the run game with it. So I think for us and kind of what we do, we like to have guys in there to kind of, you can present the defense, hey, we're going to do both. Now, in situational football, whether it's third downs or whatever, yeah, you can get into some other stuff and supplement that for sure. But kind of in your base, first and second down game plan, you want to just keep it as even as you can for the defense.
If it's third down and you're using the tight end, separated from the line, do you usually get a linebacker then on the tight end, or do teams?
It depends. You can usually get a safety or a linebacker, yeah, if they're in man coverage. If they're in zone, obviously they're just playing their zone coverage.
And if you used a wide receiver instead, you'd get another corner then?
Yeah, they'll usually sub and match the personnel. Yeah.
So if you go 4 wides, is it a numbers thing, or because you're probably going to get matched with time, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be favorable to run against, even though you have 4 wides in there, or do you just not have enough numbers to block?
Well, yeah, it all depends on kind of what they're doing. If they play single high and they got 6 in the box, then, you know, you don't know. You're one short, I guess. But yeah, it all depends. But typically when if we went with no tight end of the game, it's more of a passing situation anyways, where it's 3rd and longer.
All good? Steno, I'm curious about something I was talking to Jordan today about. Sorry, we can't let you go that soon, right?
Nah, that's good.
I-
He's trying to give me the hook, I guess.
I was, you know, you were here when Favre was here, and then obviously you coached when Rodgers was here and when he was backing up.
Mhm.
It feels like Jordan's got some of the Rodgers don't make mistakes and follow and then he's got a little bit of the gunslinger in him.
Yeah,
Like that throw to tuck.
yeah,
and-
he sure does.
So,
Yeah.
so how, as a coach, how do you kind of encourage that? Because sometimes some really good stuff can happen.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's it's always, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth sometimes, where it's like, hey man, be smart with the ball. Then all of a sudden he just makes a crazy play where, you know, gives the guy a chance. And I think you have to be selective, obviously, when who am I throwing to? You know, that depends a lot. And also kind of the time of the game, like that tuck throw. You're referring to the Cardinals game. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I was thinking about the one, wasn't it Pittsburgh, where he said he didn't know where it was going?
Oh, yeah,
and
that
he was
one. Yeah,
hoping
okay.
that happened?
Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of the 4th down. We hit tuck on the corner. But yes, that one too. Yeah, I think it's just, you have to be smart. But again, like if you know it's one-on-one coverage and it's your guy, you got to have that trust too. So do you want to live in that world? No. But at times, you know, you got to make some plays and you got to trust your guys to come down with the ball.
And then just, what is it that Matt was telling us earlier in the week, that he went to tell Malik he was in and he didn't think his heartbeat even increased?
Yeah.
What is it, like, there's teams that would kill to have a guy that they could count on in a situation like that. Just how comforting is it he's done it now time and time again.
Yeah, no, it's great. And he prepares, you know, he's always a chill guy, but he just sits there in meetings and prepares and asks his questions and just kind of goes with the flow. And that's his personality. You know, it's kind of odd sometimes to see that, you know, from a football player, but he's cool. Cool hand Luke, and just like nothing rattles him. Hey, you're going in. All right, here we go. And just goes and does it and does a really good job. And I think, again, like all the guys rally around him, they respect that. They respect his work ethic and all that stuff. So it's been really cool to see.
Was he like that when he got here, or because the way you just described him is kind of how Jordan is, right?
Yeah,
Was
totally.
cool as well. So
Yep.
if you picked that up at all from Jordan, was he kind of?
I think that's been his personality, like, because the moment, you know, when he had to come in and play after his 3rd week here or whatever, it never seemed too big for him. And I think as long as he feels prepared, I think he's just going to be confident and go out there and do what he does.
Are they pretty similarly wired guys in that way?
Yeah, I would say so. Just very even-keeled. Things don't get to them. They do a really nice job handling pressure.
Do you find it's hard, or you find that defenses have trouble when you switch to him and you go to that kind of read option stuff, that they haven't practiced it, right?
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely can do some things, not that Jordan can't run, but that's one of Malik's things that he can do pretty well is the quarterback run stuff. So I think that's a big deal for defenses for sure.
Do you think, like, you probably forced Minnesota and maybe even Detroit to think about it, but if you don't do it anymore, eventually nobody's gonna think about it again.
Yeah, and that's one thing we always talk about, you know, is getting him in there and doing some quarterback run stuff, or just different things you can do with Malik for sure.
And the downside to that is you're taking your really good quarterback off the
Yeah.
field.
Exactly. Right. That's
Knowing what
the
high
game we play.
regard you hold Christian in, has he still surprised you with what he's been able to do in the 4 games since he got back? Like, really hit the ground running?
Not anymore. I would say the first couple weeks I was like, holy cow, it's like he hasn't missed a beat. But now, you know, that we've seen him the last month, not that what he does doesn't surprise you every time he goes out there and plays and just makes plays, but yeah, it's been great. It's just been a shot in the arm to our offense and really been great.
Okay, I think,
Thanks.
All right, guys.
thanks, Stella.